Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy, Golden Falls, Golden What If, whatever you want to call me. And I'm back with a brand new series. What if Deku had a Necromancer Quirk? Part 1. Don't worry, for all y'all that are waiting for God of Destruction Deku, that's going to be the next upload. Literally tomorrow, I'll be posting that. And then part 2 of this will come out the next day following, obviously. But yeah, I don't plan on. God of Destruction Deku has been super fun. You guys have been loving it so far, so definitely not going to abandon it by any means. But wanted to get a new series started since I literally just finished another series. So yeah, here we are with a brand new one starting up. It's a little different. Obviously, I'm going to say this straight up and off rip. This is going to be a lot different than my normal what ifs. So some of you may love it, because I know a lot of you love the completely different, out of the ballpark type what ifs. Some of you may not enjoy it as much, but I'm just hoping for the best in terms of this. But I really enjoyed making it so far. This is super fun, super off the wall. But yeah, that's about it. And I'm not gonna waste any more of your time, and we're gonna get straight into the what if. Let's get it. In a world where superpowers known as quirks were known all around the world, villains and criminals began to rise, but as they did, so did heroes. But this story of what society deems as a hero, this isn't the story of that. This story is about Izuku Midoriya, the boy that was failed by society, failed by the people around him. But that story started with smiles, but continued with hatred. One day, when Izuku Midoriya was 4 years old, he begged his mother to bring him to the quirk doctor. And when she did, to her and everyone around them, the news was not good. "Well, Miss Midoriya, he does have a quirk, but it's a odd one. It seems he has dark magic embedded within his quirk, giving him the ability to bring back and control the dead." In a room away from Midoriya, his mother looked on in shock at the doctor, and she was afraid to go tell her son what his quirk was. She walked out and began telling Izuku, "Hey, honey, the doctor would like to explain your quirk." The doctor does so, and even asks if he wants to be a hero, and Midoriya shakes his head yes in response. "Of course, I want to be a hero just like All Might." They leave the doctors, and the next day, Midoriya goes to school and tells his best friend Kachan of the news, which he finds the quirk cool at first until Midoriya used it. A green aura began to surround Izuku when pressured into trying to use his quirk, and a zombie-like creature covered in mist appeared. The kids began to scream that he's a monster and a villain, and began running away from him. Days later, when he arrives home, he sees a note that says from his mom that she needed to leave for a while and would be back when she could, and to eat whatever was in the fridge. But what Midoriya didn't know is that his mom began driven insane, seeing spirits flying around her home and entities cursing her as she laid in bed. Hours became days, days became weeks, and weeks became months. A year had passed, and even Izuku could not deny that his mother would never come back. Izuku would cry himself to sleep every night until he was 6 years old. And that's when he realized his quirk was cursed, and so was he. That he was a monster, and that nobody would love him. Midoriya would walk the streets every day, refusing to go back home to the place his mother abandoned him. He would walk the streets talking to the people who he was convinced weren't actually there, only ghosts and spirits, the only things that would actually speak to him. He began sending his ghosts into stores and such to steal things that would allow him to survive, and he would post up camp under a bridge at night with a tent he stole from a store. Back at his old home, nothing was happening. the school never even called. They thought that it was best if a monster like him never showed up again. Months began passing for Midoriya, and he was never approached. A 7-year-old out on the street seemed normal to these people, or at least that's what he thought. He was still numb to the idea that society was in a state where heroes made people block out what was currently happening around them. People would see Midoriya and tell themselves that a hero would certainly come by and help, but even heroes would come by and see him and not even bat an eye at the kid. They would walk by without a trace. This is when Midoriya truly began realizing that nobody cared about him, that nobody thought he even existed. His own mother wanted him dead and gone, so why should he live in the world anymore? He walked to the tallest building he could find and leaped off, but before he could hit the ground, he began floating and gently touched the ground. His own quirk wouldn't allow for him to die. He was like this leader for the dead. He looked up to see flashes of entire armies of dead soldiers, from Spartans to Aztecs kneeling before him. At the age of 9, Midoriya realized that death was a cop-out, that he would try his best to regain his humanity and maybe become a hero. Well, that thought was gone soon after the night he slept back under the bridge. A drunk hero stumbled across his tent and kicked it, dragging him out, screaming at him, saying why would they fire him from the agency, and began beating Midoriya. Midoriya began to realize that being a hero would not be enough to save society, that he needed to do something far more drastic. A dark aura began surrounding the hero and eventually covered him whole, turning him into a minion for Midoriya. Changing his appearance into a more ghost-like creature with armor, the former hero kneeled before him. "How may I serve you, master?" "Roam Japan. Hunt down any heroes that do wrong or only care for themselves. And if you are defeated, come back to me, and I will give you more power." The man roams off in the distance, and Midoriya goes into the city as well. Midoriya is then approached by a man. "What do you need, spirit?" "Spirit? I'm no spirit, kid. My name is All for One, and I would like you to join me. Join me to change this disgusting society." "Why would I do that?" "Because I can give you power. I've been watching you for a while, and I know how your quirk works. Come with me and I can show you." Midoriya stands up and looks at All for One, telling him not to do anything stupid. They both walk away and arrive at a nearby hideout.
"Master, welcome back. Wait, who is this kid?"
"Shigaraki, this is Izuku Midoriya, the boy I told you about." Shigaraki looks at him in shock.
"Kid, is it true that your powers are what Master says they are?"
Midoriya stays silent and looks at All for One. "No questions for now, Shigaraki. We have some business to take care of." They walk into the other room, and Midoriya finds something they deem as a Nomu, a human who was once killed, and they're implanting him with various quirks, but can't seem to get it in complete control, or more or less actively moving. "Midoriya, do you mind?" Why not?" Midoriya's eyes glow green, and he reaches out his hand, and the Nomu stands up. Shigaraki looks on in shock, thinking that everything that was once said about this kid was true. "Is this the power you told me I could have, All for One?" "Yes, my child, it is." "Then you got a deal. I'll play nice for now." Over the years, news began talking about a ghost man who traveled Japan, taking down and killing heroes, and would spew the words over and over again while walking. The dead walks among you, but the living are the tainted. For years, this ghost-like figure was never taken down until Midoriya was about 15 years old, and he saw in the news Endeavor burned the being to a crisp. Wow, you did better than I expected.
Who are you talking to, Midoriya?
Shigaraki then sees that being that was defeated by Endeavor. I'm sorry I lost, Master. I promise. No reason to be sorry. And Shigaraki, meet Japan's very own Oni. Or at least that's what they like to call him.
He's one of yours?
Midoriya cuts him off, saying, yes, he is one of my servants. Don't worry, Oni. Just lay low for a while. Go do whatever you want. I will summon you when needed, and that is when I will grant you with more power. The figure bows and disappears from sight. A screen turns on, and All For One begins talking, telling them to get ready for their invasion of the USJ. They all nod, and Kurogiri approaches them, telling them that the other villains are ready for the invasion. Shigaraki approaches Midoriya, telling him to avoid fighting for now, and that the Nomu is their trump card, but he is also their secret weapon if all plans fail. Midoriya tells him he knows and to not worry about him. He tried to die a long time ago, and that death doesn't seem like an option for him, even if he wanted to die. Shigaraki nods and they all prepare. Midoriya sits on a roof on the USJ watching from above, seeing two familiar faces. Katsuki Bakugo. And who are you? You look familiar, but I don't remember anything about you. The villains begin to attack Eraserhead, who is seemingly winning a 50 versus 1 fight. And Midoriya jumps from the roof, landing next to Shigaraki and Kurogiri with his hood covering his face.
Welcome to the party, Spirit King.
Shigaraki, I told you that I don't like that name.
Yeah, whatever, kid. I'm gonna keep calling you that until you tell me a better one.
Midoriya just ignores him and watches as Eraserhead fights. Do you plan on killing that hero?
Why you ask?
Because he's part of the list Oni gave me for real heroes.
You make things so much harder for us, kid. But we won't kill him, only injure.
Midoriya nods and watches as Eraserhead defeats all the villains.
Kurogiri, bring out the Nomu.
A giant monster comes walking out of a portal, chasing or charging at Eraserhead, breaking both of his arms and throwing him to the side.
Too bad All Might's not here. Honestly, kid, I'm surprised he's not on your list.
Don't ask me. Oni did extensive research, so he must have found something about him. Flashback to Oni disguised as a human. All Might, do you think I can become a hero even if I'm quirkless?
Quirkless? Come on, kid. You have no chance. Just give up on being a hero.
Back to present.
I don't mind. Cause now I get to kill All Might without caring.
As Shigaraki says this, All Might comes busting through the door.
No need to fear, because I am here.
All Might goes charging at the Nomu and they begin to clash. The Nomu slowly begins to lose, but when Kurogiri tries to help, Bakugo catches his metal body.
Don't you move, or I'm gonna blow you into pieces.
As Bakugo says this, Midoriya walks up to him. But to him, he just looks like a hooded man. Bakugo looks up and his aura alone begins to make Bakugo shake. I should kill you here and now, but I won't in respect to the plan. But no, Bakugo Katsuki, you will not be a hero. Midoriya kicks Bakugo away and takes Kurogiri back.
Thank you, Spirit King.
Not you too, stop calling me that. Midoriya puts down Kurogiri and sees the Nomu about to be defeated. He puts down his hood and begins calling out to the Oni. He arrives and Midoriya smiles. Your power awaits, my spirit. Have fun. Midoriya smiles as the Oni takes over the Nomu's body, and a beast that once had no brain began fighting as if he was coherent of what he was doing. The Nomu began to turn the tide of the fight, injuring All Might and throwing him back into the class. Shigaraki begins to laugh and say how pitiful the symbol of peace is, and that he can no longer protect anyone. Midoriya walks forward and a dark aura coats over him. To you heroes in training, you are all simple-minded. None of you understand, thinking that there are only two sides to this coin. But that is where you are mistaken. The class stands in shock, looking at an unconscious All Might. I was once one of you, wanting to be a hero. Frankly, I'm very close to all of your ages. But my classmates refused, my family refused, my own mother abandoned me. I got strong on my own, but I am no villain. But I am no hero. To society, I'm nothing. More pro heroes begin to enter. An entire army forms behind Midoriya. Now, heroes, let's see how good you truly are. Midoriya, or Shigaraki, tells him that it's time to go, that All Might is humiliated and the students have the fear of God within them. Midoriya nods, but as he walks away, he hears a voice, a girl's voice, that screams his full name, Izuku Midoriya. She begs him to stop, to come back and become a hero like they once wanted to be. Midoriya began remembering who this person was, but just shook his head and turned around. They all walk through a portal, and Midoriya waves his hand, sending his horde of minions toward the pro heroes. Midoriya smiles and looks toward the girl. If you truly know who I am, I'll be seeing you soon, to either congratulate you on being a real hero, or to send you to the other world for not being one. Midoriya walks through the portal, and the pros and the students are left to fight this horde of monsters while protecting an unconscious All Might. And that is it for part 1 of this What If. I'm ending this a little bit shorter than normal, or around the 18-minute mark-ish for at least the content, because I wanted to actually get y'all's opinion on who this person should be. I like doing this a lot more now. I feel like it's a lot more fun to see what you guys come up with and what everyone wants. And sometimes you get one person get a bunch of likes on something everyone agrees on. So, what do you want? Who do you want this to be? What girl in the story? It could be anybody. It could be anybody. It could be someone from Class 1A. It could be someone that is age changed, like I did with Mirko and I think the adaptation Quirk. It could be anybody. I'm down to do whatever. Doesn't necessarily have to be the ship, but I like bringing these aspects in. Frankly, I don't plan on making it a ship, but if y'all want it to be a ship, then sure, why not, right? But yeah, if y'all want whoever, it doesn't even have to be like I said, it doesn't have to be the ship, but just give me some names. Give me female names in terms of who it should be. Maybe even a made-up character that we just throw in this universe to have some fun. But yeah, leave it down in the comment section below, and I hope all of y'all enjoyed the What If. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. Like I said, comment down below a name. Also, comment down below any suggestions you have for future What Ifs, and maybe even this What If. Like maybe you have a good villain name for him. Put that down below. Yeah, that's about it. And like I said, I hope y'all all enjoyed, and I will see y'all next time. Later.